Good evening. This week we are reflecting on the events at Mount Sinai when the Lord renewed the covenant with Israel. One of the key things that happened there is that the Lord gave Israel the Ten Commandments. We should remember that when the Lord gave Israel the Ten Commandments, they were already set free from Egypt. In giving the law to Israel, the Lord was therefore calling liberated people to obedience. We can see clearly that even in the Old Testament, the intention was never for Israel to obey the law in order to gain their access to God. The Ten Commandments were introduced by the Lord, who says, "I am the Lord your God who delivered you out of Egypt." And then the commandments follow. Although every Israelite is called to obey the law, there is more at play here than simply ensuring that every Israelite has a good moral life. The law's intention is not to just let every person live a good life. No, after the law is given in Exodus 20 and verse 20, Moses says to the people, "Do not be afraid, for God has come to test you. He wants you to be in awe of Him and not sin." That test is to give them an experience of who the Lord is. So what's the point? In Israel's quest to obey the law, it would have been necessary for them to reflect constantly on who the Lord is, to think about who the lawgiver is, and therefore get a clearer picture of who He is, and then go to live out of that experience of who He is. Along with that, Israel's obedience will lead them to being distinguishable from the many other nations. Many, if not all of the other nations, had their own laws by which they lived. But the intent of these Ten Commandments was for the Lord's people to be known as Israel, the light to the nations. When we think about the law in this way, we can understand why Jesus, when He came to earth and taught about the law, He actually made the law stricter and deeper by getting to the intention of our hearts when we obey the law. That's why, for example, He said, "You say that you have not committed murder, but I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment." In Jesus' own life, we see the light of God's goodness shine through His obedience. We see His love for His Heavenly Father in how He obeys the law His Father has given Him. May it be the same in our lives as followers of Jesus. May the goodness of who God is shine in the way we obey the commands He gives us. Good evening.